Hello, everybody. This is the BrainScratch crew here with one of my personal favorite Nintendo 64 games, Paper Mario. Yeah.
God damn it, Jack Link. Why are you so hard to open? Ignore me.
Anyway, we start our story with a nice little bedtime story about stars and spirits.
Are we gonna have to collect 7 stars to save the world?
Yes.
Paper Mario RPG did it first.
Well, actually, if you played Sticker Star before this plot synopsis would sound very, very, very familiar. As in, you can replace the words stickers and stars and have the same exact plot.
So Sticker Star isn't very good.
It's also quite similar to a certain other game that came out much later. Also had Mario in the title, something about galaxies or something or some shit like that.
I did like this. They did scotch-taped Kamikuru.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
The one Mario RPG that I constantly picked up and put down, and I still haven't beaten it to this day.
I've only beaten it once.
This is the one I like 1,000 Year Door more, but I've beaten this one more. Like, I think this was the first game I beat on my own without the help of some sort of strategy guide or something.
So he's taking the plot MacGuffin from a Kirby game?
Yes, actually. And these star spirits would only ever show up in one other game, and that's Mario Party 5.
Yeah.
That's your random trivia for the day.
The precursors to the Lumas.
Pretty much.
The,
To be honest, those graphics have aged fairly badly because all the sprites look very, very fuzzy.
Yeah.
That's not... I don't know if this is Paper Mario 2 or this game, but I think that they're not actually sprites, but they're 3D models, but they just don't have any depth to them. Which might explain...
It may be this game. Because the N64 used that trick a lot.
Yeah. This is, I think, one of the very last N64 games released.
Yeah, I think this came out around the same time as Smash Brothers did.
No, it's 2000... I remember I got it for my birthday in 2001.
Yeah, 2000... Wow, 2001, really?
Yes.
I have a question, though. At what point during development did the art direction team decide, let's make everything paper?
Well, to be honest, the Paper Mario series has always been the Nintendo play around with an RPG idea series.
Yeah, but...
I think this was supposed to be a sequel to Mario RPG, but then when Square sort of jumped the Nintendo ship after the PlayStation came out, they were just sort of left with...
Yeah, the conceptual name for this game was Super Mario RPG 2.
Yeah.
So, I don't know when Paper Mario as we know it began. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with...
I'll leave it to you, okay? After all, you're quite illiterate after bonking your head on so many blocks.
I'm throwing a party at my castle today. It will be the highlight of the town and the only thing happening. I'm sure that this won't be a blatant sign that says, Bowser, come kidnap me. Why don't you show up just in case?
You know, Peach really should clue in and just, have an extremely public decoy party somewhere else in the city and have the real party, like, at that bar half a city away. And then Bowser comes to kidnap the princess and all he gets is,
Inabidala?
Princess Daisy.
Yeah.
Then Luigi can finally go on his adventures in the Waffle Kingdom.
I still want that game, Nintendo.
To be honest, though, out of all the RPGs Mario's been in, I think I like Paper Mario's art direction the most.
Like the series in general, or this game? Well,
just the series in general, yeah.
Because, like, this game, it's called Paper Mario, but other than the one scotch-tape joke at the very beginning of the game, it doesn't really look a whole lot like paper. It just looks like sprites in 3D put together for whatever reason.
That Your Door does the gimmick a lot better.
You see what they... Well, I get the sense that they went for this particular art direction simply to get around the fact that, let's be honest, N64 PS1 generation 3D graphics looked ugly even then.
It's also a good way to have semi-detailed characters without having to eat up hard drive space or disk space or card space.
What they wound up doing was going with this sprite gimmick, and then at some point they realized they could flip things around. Everything looked like paper. You know what? That's a much more interesting title than Super Mario RPG 2.
I still remember the commercial for this game, and everything was just a piece of paper with attached to its stick and just shaking back.
Yeah, actually, the commercials played up the paper gimmick more than the actual game itself.
Yeah, I know.
Huh, this looks familiar. I wonder if they'll ever try this trick again. Taking Peach's castle out of the sky.
I just want to know how Bowser built that without being caught.
How did Joker get all that explosives in the Gotham General?
How is it flying either?
It's the Koopa clown car.
Yeah, but what are the swinging pendulums
It's a Koopa
for?
clown car.
But what are the swinging
That's
pendulums
merely
for?
decoration.
The spike balls are just to make it look ominous instead of comical. Spike balls do that to things.
Okay, but Ted, before you start questioning design choices, there are some very important things we have to question about Bowser in general. But why does he want to capture the princess so badly? What does he have to gain? Or to lose?
Yay! It's a game where Bowser talks and has personality and is not just an evil brute.
Just
Bowser's
because.
always the best in the RPG games.
Yeah. It's the only time it's the only time he's interesting.
Well, I'd say some of the spin-offs too, but anytime he's in like a main game, he's boring as ass. Which makes Sticker Star really disappointing, because from what I haven't beaten it yet, but from what I've heard, he only has like a couple of lines. Why?
That is extremely lame. And, yeah.
Though, if I were to compare...
I still think he's the best in, I think he's tied for best in Thousand Year Door and Bowser's Inside Story.
I haven't, I think that out of all of the Mario RPGs, Bowser's dialogue is probably the weakest here. But I think that's just kind of the... I don't think they hadn't quite hit their stride when it came to writing in this series just yet.
No.
So... I mean, he does get a couple of funny lines, especially later on in the game.
It all began with Mario RPG, where he was sort of the comic relief.
He was played for laughs, because even in the Super Nintendo era, everyone was kind of tired of, Bowser kidnapped the princess again.
Yeah, and for this game, the personality really doesn't go any further than that. It wasn't until Thousand Year Door where they really started,
playing up his ineffectiveness.
Playing up the ineffectiveness, and I do think it reached its peak with Bowser's Inside Story.
I really do need to get to playing that.
It's a really good game, dude.
You have to play it. I still consider Superstar Saga to be the better game, but I think Bowser's Inside Story has the much better story.
Yeah.
I like the way the characters look up at the menu while you're picking your commands. It's just like, what should I do now?
I also like how Bowser's just sort of bitch-slapping Mario, like, please.
I'm invincible, and you can't touch me.
The tables have turned, bitch.
So if you could do 10 damage, then why didn't you just do that to begin with? You would have saved yourself a couple of bumps on the head.
Oh god, he sprayed me with orange soda. Ah!
Now the game is so scripted that if you use a Game Shark and alter the code so that you beat Bowser, the game just crashes.
Yeah.
Cheating bastard.
Well, okay, you could kill him or lightning bolt to comically fall out the window. That works too.
I'll kill you next time, Batman.
How are you playing this game? Virtual console?
Luckily,
this is Virtual Console.
It's on the Virtual Console. I have the original 64 as well.
I have a working N64 copy, but the thing is that at this time I was under the impression that my N64 was broken, so I had bought a Virtual Console version. And also, title screen up in 10 minutes. Take that, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Take that, Skyward Sword.
Oh, come on, that's too easy.
RPGs ever.
Now, if you don't touch anything on the prologue, Chapter 1, Chapter 2 screen, if you wait a long enough time, the Super Mario Brothers theme will start playing, but it's kind of a shitty sound font, so I don't really care.
How come some stars have personalities and some I just shove in my pocket?
Well, there's some. Well, in this game, some Goombas are nice, and some are just jackasses for no particular reason.
I think that's kind of always been the case, that Bowser just has his army, and Goombas and Koopas in and of themselves aren't necessarily evil.
Yeah, they just joined his forces.
Oh, we're getting into some really deep racism shit here.
It's the RPG, we're allowed to.
Mm.
Okay, now I might just be thinking out of my ass, but I think they actually did have a side quest kind of sort of delving into that in Thousand Year Door.
I have a question, though. Luigi's still in the castle, right? Why isn't he doing anything?
I like how
Luigi
wavery
escaped. You figure out later that Luigi just sort of ran out before the castle got all the way off of the ground. Like, and
For once, your cowardice pays off.
he just sort of sits around in the house not doing anything for the rest of the game. I mean, he has a couple humorous lines, but that's about it.
And they reference Luigi's Mansion a bit, but...
Well, yeah, yeah, they had to have had Luigi's Mansion in development at this point.
Yeah, it's basically just hinting towards Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. I don't think...
How late into the life cycle was this game?
This came out in 2001.
This was one of the 3 N64 games released in 2001. It was this, Mario Party 3, and one other game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
pretty much all you could play back then.
So, very end.
Yeah,
Very, very end. The GameCube was released the same year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later that same year.
Go to the Dagobah system.
There you will find Starman.
Now, you can sort of see where the polygons making up the rooms can connect to each other in this. Like, there's a couple of little lines there. I will say that, yeah, the graphics have sort of aged a little bit, but I think that they haven't. I think that they're still somewhat passable because of the art style.
Yeah.
Why are Goombas suddenly nice?
So difficult to open.
Wait, hold on. If they don't have arms, how did they carry me back?
How did Goombas play baseball?
Well, actually, I remember in Mario Superstar Baseball, they just sort of telekinesis the bat.
So they just telekinesis Mario home.
Wait, if Goombas are telekinetic, why are they so pathetic?
Why is telekinesis suddenly a verb? And I'm gonna telekinesis you, and I'm gonna telekinesis you.
So, there's a world to save, but why don't we just stop by this pleasant household? Say hello to the folks.
I love how the talking symbol is actually the traditional RPG silence symbol. Okay. That's not confusing at all.
Look at all the Squall Leon hearts here.
Hey Mario, I'm your biggest fan. I appreciate how you kill my race on the thousands.
PTSD!
Please don't jump on my head.
Feel free to rest in our house. Just don't take anything. I don't trust you. So, anyway, we can't get past because we have to wait for him to fix the gate. Yes, that's right. We have to wait for him to fix the gate, even though it looks completely functional just now.
Or just jump over it.
Or we could just jump over the fence. Hell, we could climb over the fence if we really wanted to.
But we'd get splinters.
Oh, boo-hoo, we're wearing boots.
Our boots would get splinters.
He never changes his shoes. They're apparently indestructible.
Well, unless if you step on spiky things. So anyway, to progress with the plot, you do have to talk to Goomba here, but you can ignore everyone else.
Oh.
Yes. That's a very...
Goomba.
I mean, well, why would you name him that? Are you just assuming that he's going to have grandkids one day? What if he dies alone and unloved?
It's like naming your child Scar.
It means they're obliged to get some sort of scar on their face at some point in their life.
So, yeah, I think that after you talk to him... Yeah, it's talking to him triggers the next cutscene, not examining the gate. Even though I think that if you examine the gate... Actually, by logic, if you just examined the gate and walked out, you would have been able to leave instead of having this cutscene interrupt you. But you have to talk to him because of reasons.
Hi, Cammy.
They didn't bring Cammy Koopa back for Sticker Start either. They just sort of replaced her with Kamek, who, for some reason,
for all
just
intents and purposes, Cammy Koopa might as well just be older Kamek.
Yeah, but now I'm just wondering why they didn't just make her Kamek to begin with.
Yeah.
It's not like Kamek had a personality to change.
I kind of like Cammy more than Kamek, though. You're right, though. You're absolutely right with the. There's really no point, but I don't know. I just find better synergy with her and Koopa, Bowser. Sorry.
Well, she also has her own unique outfit.
Oh God! Just fix that gate.
Well, Kamek just is sort of a normal Magic Koopa, right? Cammy has her own design, which I think makes her a little bit more distinct at the very least.
Kamek was the one named in Yoshi's Island, I believe.
Yeah, but his design was just the Magic Koopa you find in Mario World.
Yeah, that's what. Well, since Yoshi's Island was when Mario was a baby, they should have been Kamek, just older, because now Mario's grown up and all that.
Okay, since we needed to wait for the gate to be fixed to leave, does this mean we have to wait another couple days or something?
No, once we break down the block, we'll just walk over the discarded remains of the gate. And probably get splinters that way, too.
One does not simply walk around the block.
Oh, it's got, like, little eyes on it. That means it's probably sentient. Best thing to do is to break it open.
I hate shit like this.
What, walk around the block?
Can't walk around the block. Even though you're paper thin, you can probably squeeze the crevice.
No, you need to be cursed in order to do that. Gosh, John.
Ted, just stop.